WMR Memphis. Smooth grooves for jazz lovers.
You're at Chuck's Place, your jazz club on the radio on WUMR FM 92.
We've got a surprise guest for you. If you're in Memphis, perhaps you know that the Memphis International Jazz Festival is coming up November 22nd through 24th, and there are a lot of great entertainers that are going to be performing on that. It's in the legendary South Main Historic District in downtown Memphis. But on Friday night, we kick off is going to be at 7 p.m. at the National Civil Rights Museum in downtown Memphis. And folks, who's going to kick that off? Let me tell you, none other than Mr. Ekpe Abioto and the African Jazz Ensemble. And with me right now is the man himself, Ekpe. Ekpe, welcome to Chuck's Place.
Thank you. You're the man, Chuck. You're the man. I listen to you on Sundays when I can, so you're the man also.
Well, I appreciate you listening, and thank you for taking your time to join us for a little while. I know you've got 2 or 3 other engagements as usual today, so we really appreciate your time. Let's get right to it.
Sure.
Ekpe, you're perhaps best known as a drummer.
Yes.
But you also play a lot of other instruments as well.
Yeah, well, flute is actually my first instrument. I started playing flute when I was maybe 12 or 13 years ago. We won't talk about how long ago that was, age-wise, though I'm 62 years old. But anyway, you do the math. But, yeah, flute and then saxophone. And I started getting into percussions because in my young days, in my early life, in late 50s, early 60s, I'm from a family of 14, and we had a very eclectic music soundtrack in our house. So I started listening to Miriam Makeba and Harry Belafonte and Hugh Masekela and Coltrane, all that music when I was a child, actually. And then later on, I heard Earth, Wind & Fire, and it all kind of kicked back in, you might say.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. How long has the African Jazz Ensemble been performing, and where did the original influence come from?
Well, the original influence came from what I just told you. But actually, about 40 years ago, we used to call it the African Jazz Connection. And we used to play drums over at Overland Park, and we would just go and hang out there on Sundays and play drums and do some other things that I won't talk about. That's legal now, in some states. But anyway, that was back in the day. But anyway, we hang out and play drums and percussions, and people say, "Hey, can you come and play here? Can you come and play there?" So that's where it started at. That's where it started. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this:
Sure.
Who were some of your jazz influences?
Man, obviously I'm going to say since I was born on August 29th, Charlie Parker's birthday. I'm going to say Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, and you got Memphis people. Herman Green was one of my teachers, and so you have people around here. Bill Hurd, you have all these people. Bill Easley, all these are local people who, and that's me representing Memphis music, as you might say. Yeah. So all these influences of our artists, Sonny Stitt and everybody, and so those are some of my influences. Maurice White, of course, Earth, Wind & Fire, as I said before.
Oh yeah. Now, Ekpe, you were born right here in Memphis, am I correct?
Exactly.
And where did you go to school?
I went to East High School, went to Shelby State, and then I started traveling the world. That was a school.
Yeah.
First time I went to Africa was 30 years ago.
Oh, my God.
Went to Japan 40 years ago.
Wow.
So the world is also school.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this. Back in the summer, you were performing, I believe it was at the Shell in Overton Park here in Memphis.
Yes.
And you did a tribute to John Coltrane's A Love Supreme.
Yes.
You're going to be doing that hopefully at the concert on Friday night.
We will. We plan to do that. That's a part of our thing because what we do, we want to represent those who have passed away. We do some John Coltrane. We do some Nina Simone, some Leon Thomas. Some people may not know about Leon Thomas, but he wrote a song called The Creator Has a Master Plan. Yeah. And so we do those songs, some Earth, Wind & Fire, different things, but we do it our own way.
Yeah.
We put our own flavor on it as
Absolutely.
well. So, as well as original material that we do also.
Absolutely. Now, you've got some great people playing in the African Jazz Ensemble group.
Yes.
You want to mention a couple of their names for me?
Yes. Dwayne Thomas. His father was Charles Thomas, great Memphis jazz pianist. We have Bluebeam Durrell. We have Sakita Monique, who's on vocals.
Wow. She's got a show next week also somewhere.
She has on the 24th. She has a show next week. And also Deontay Payne. I have to mention Deontay. When you mentioned African Jazz Ensemble, earlier on in the years, we had Ron Williams playing vibraphones with us. Ron passed away some years ago, a little over 20 years ago now. And so I missed that vibraphone sound. And it just so happened I was playing somewhere, and this young brother walked up and said, "Hey, man, I play vibraphones." I said, "You do?" He said, yeah. So he sent me to somewhere on the internet where I can see. I said, would you like to play with us? And he's a student at the University of Memphis.
Oh,
as a matter of fact. Great vibraphone player. So, once again, he's picking up where Ron left off, and so I'm glad to have him. So you have James White on saxophone as well. So John Black on guitar and some other different ones. Sometimes the personnel varies. Sometimes according to what I'm looking for in a particular performance.
We're talking to Ekpe Abioto, who is the great musician. He's played with everybody on lots and lots of albums, but he's playing with the African Jazz Ensemble as part of the Memphis International Jazz Festival that's going to run from November 22nd to 24th in the legendary South Main Historic Arts District. His concert is Friday night, November 22nd, starts at 7 o'clock p.m. Tickets are only $15, folks. That's $30 a couple. That still leaves you about $50 to take that lady out to dinner. You can get tickets at Eventbrite, and the concert's going to be held at the National Civil Rights Museum in downtown Memphis. Ekpe, I can't let you go yet, man, because I just saw you pull out your saxophone.
Yes.
Will you do us a favor and just play a little something for us?
I will do that. And this particular song, growing up in the civil rights movement, in the civil rights era, a lot of my family, they were arrested, and some of them marched with Dr. King.
Oh, yeah.
And so last year, of course, we memorialized the 50th year of Dr. King being assassinated here in Memphis.
Yes.
And this year, Dr. King would have been 90 years old.
Oh, wow.
And just imagine the wisdom that he continued to live, right? So Dr. King is always in the back of my mind and different things. So I wrote this song called Memphite Blues Lament for Reverend King.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Yayo, peace, love, and unity. And this is in Kiswahili. Yayo, peace, love, and unity. Uhuru, freedom.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Ekpe Abioto, live right here in the studios of WUMR at Chuck's Place in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, that is a first. Ekpe, my friend, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to be with us today on Chuck's Place.
Most certainly. We're looking forward to seeing everybody at the Memphis International Jazz Festival. And it's significant that it's the Memphis International Jazz Festival because when you go anywhere in the world, I was talking to Bobby Lavelle last night, and Bill heard some of the different ones. I was in Bermuda back in '84.
Yes.
And I went down there, and they were saying, "Yeah, you from Memphis?" They say, "Phineas Newborn." So it was this little island out in the ocean, right?
Right.
And they know about Memphis music and the jazz legacy. So it's very fitting that this is the Memphis International Jazz Festival.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to do a quick rundown here, and I want you to help me. Of course, you're going to be there on Friday night, November 22nd, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. At the National Civil Rights Museum with the African Jazz Ensemble.
Yes.
And, of course, tickets are $15, and they can be purchased from Eventbrite right online. Now, on Saturday, we've got several events happening. Saturday, November 23rd at 12 noon at the South Main Art Space Lofts, and that's at 138 St. Paul Street. All of this is happening in the South Main Arts District. Scott McEwen from Memphis Magnetic Recording is going to be interviewed by a very special friend of mine and a special friend of WUMR's. The co-host of Riffin' on Jazz, Mr. Howard Robertson, is going to interview Scott. That again is Saturday, November 23rd, 12 p.m. at the South Main Art Space Lofts, which is located at 138 St. Paul Street. And at 1 o'clock at that same location, the Memphis Jazz Legacy Lecture will be held. And, of course, that's going to be conducted by none other than Dr. Jack Cooper. And he is a real authority on jazz, the legacy of jazz, and especially the jazz in Memphis. So just stay around for that. It's going to be at 1 o'clock. All of this is free on Saturday. And Saturday at 2 p.m. at the same location, South Main Art Space Lofts at 138 St. Paul Street, the Memphis Jazz Workshop will perform.
Yes.
And they are dynamite, aren't they?
They are.
They got some real professional players there, and you're going to enjoy yourself. But the weekend's not over. On Saturday, the same Saturday, November 23rd at 8 o'clock p.m., at the Memphis Magnetic Recording Company, which is right down there at 618 Vance in Memphis, Taliba Sophia, great jazz vocalist and storyteller.
Yes.
You know this girl, don't you?
Yes.
She is fantastic. She's going to be performing in concert from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. Now, the admission for that is $15, and, of course, you can go online and get your tickets from Eventbrite now, because I got a feeling this one's going to be packed out as well. That's going to be Saturday, November 23rd, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
So now your Saturday night is complete. What about Sunday? Oh, yeah, this jazz festival rolls on through the weekend. On Sunday, November 24th, 12 noon at Rizzo's. That's a great, great restaurant at 492 South Main. Chef Michael Patrick is going to present the Memphis International Jazz Brunch. And I tell you, whatever he does, it's going to be fantastic. You know, personally, I like his meatloaf, and I don't usually eat meatloaf. But I had meatloaf once at Rizzo's, and I had to go back and get some more. That's going to be Sunday, November 24th. Next Sunday, 12 p.m. is when it kicks off at 492 South Main. So come, get your lunch. It's going to be a fabulous time. But guess what? Soundscapes will be presented featuring vocalist Valletta Brinson. And this is another great vocalist, isn't that right?
Yes, most certainly.
She's going to do a great job of entertaining. So you have this lovely lady entertaining you while you're having your lunch at Rizzo's, and it's going to be prepared by Chef Michael Patrick. We're not through yet. We got one more event, and that's Sunday night. Well, Sunday afternoon, 5:30 p.m. at Central Barbecue, downtown, 147 East Butler Avenue. One of my favorite trio groups, Prime Cut, is going to be performing with vocalist Vicki Newsom. Now, Pramcut is just a fantastic group. I've heard them many, many times. We've got Audie Smith on keyboards, Andre Hallman on drums, and Don Van on bass. And, of course, Vicki Newsom is just a tremendous talent.
Certainly.
Well, I tell you what, folks, that's what's coming up in Memphis, Tennessee. If you're going to be here this coming week, you're in for a treat. Memphis International Jazz Festival, November 22nd through 24th. At legendary South Main Historic Arts District. And if you want a review of that, just go online to MemphisInternationalJazzFestival.com. Thank you again, Ekpe. I know you got to go, brother, but I appreciate you being with us.
Most certainly. Thank you, Chuck.
You're very welcome.
Keep playing the great music.
I'll do the best I can.
All right.
Jamie Stokes, thank you so much, darling, for hanging around with us a little bit today.
Thank you so much. And Central Station Hotel, I don't think we got a chance to mention that Central Station Hotel, newly opened, beautiful, beautiful location, will be hosting a jazz playlist at the beginning of all of our festival nights on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 5 p.m. And also the nightcap. You cannot have a fantastic jazz evening without a nightcap at the Central Station Hotel. And those will kick off at 10 p.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well. And
on Sunday, next Sunday, by the way, at the hotel in the lounge, they're going to be playing at 5 o'clock and at 10 o'clock. Chuck's Place Top 10.
Yes, sir.
And I was so happy when they asked me to take a look at all the inventory of albums that they had, and they've got a lot at that hotel. That little lounge is beautiful,
it's
too.
It's fabulous.
It's very cozy. And asked me to pick out my top 10 favorites from Chuck's Place, and we did that, and we're going to be there next Sunday, 5 o'clock, and also at 10 o'clock. And listen to the great DJs down at that hotel in the lounge. Play back some great sounds that we just happen to think are really special here at Chuck's Place.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that playlist.
I think it's exciting. I really do, because I like the albums. Once again, if you want to find out a whole bunch more about this, in case you're just now tuning in, go to MemphisInternationalJazzFestival.com. And the Jazz Festival is November 22nd through 24th. That's next week's, folks. So if you're not in Memphis, why don't you hop a flight and come on and join us for a really great time.
You're at Chuck's Place, your jazz club on the radio on WUMR FM 92.